How we doing? I am your host, Robert T. Gardner Jr., also known as Dr. Rob. Welcome to Station BOB. And let me tell you a little about thee. I am a kid from a Harlem hood who turned out good. I got educated like I should. Now I know how to help you grow to become the best of your being in life, love, and work. With that said, I am here to provide you with some clarity associated with the perplexity of the challenges in your life, love, and work. So, without further ado, let's get down on it. Enjoy the show. Yes. How we doing? And welcome once again, my friend, to Station BOB, where you listen to learn how to become the best of your being in life, love, and work. And as always, I am your host, Dr. Rob. What's going on? Well, welcome to another podcast at Station BOB. And as life would have it, during this time, my father, Robert T. Gardner Sr., is aging out, as he would say, and his health and his physical well-being has declined significantly over the past few weeks. And so this is a tough time for Dr. Rob. But, you know, as my father would have it, he would say, Rob, keep podcasting. And although he is still alive, but he is not well. And so I'm going to motor through in the name of my father. I'm going to keep the podcast going. And so I want to thank you again for tuning in, my friend. And today, I think I have another interesting topic for you. Today's topic is, how you living? Do you live your life from a mental, meaning thinking, or emotional, meaning feeling perspective? In other words, are you more of a thinker or more like a feeler when it comes to handling your everyday life business, your problems, and or disappointing life experiences? And so to take it a step further, let me just break it down like this. People who are feelers are people who tend to yell or scream a lot. These type of people have temper tantrums, kick, punch, and throw things to display their feelings of disappointment. And sometimes they even kick and punch other human beings like their children, siblings, or their spouses. And so with that said, I came across a quote, maybe about 2 years ago. And this quote just stays with me. And from time to time, I have shared this same quote on this podcast. And I think now is just another appropriate time to share this podcast as we're talking about, how you living. Are you more of a thinker or more of a feeler? And so the quote reads like this. Life is a comedy for those who think, and a tragedy for those who feel. Now, what does that mean? Let me see if I can interpret that, provide you with an interpretation. And I would interpret that quote as saying that when you live your life in a mental, thinking way, that means that you're more of a thinker and you're able to work through your issues or challenges, situations, and or any problems that might arise in your life. When I say work through, I mean that you think about them, you look for solutions, you find ways to resolve the issues. Like, for instance, let me just say it like this. When problems arise, as they surely will, and some problems are big and some problems are small, but a problem, nevertheless, is a problem. However, the real issue is how we handle our problems. That is the question. And so as a thinker, when it comes to addressing problems, the focus for thinkers would be to focus on the solution of the problem instead of focusing on the problem itself and focusing on how bad or how big or what the outcome of that problem might be. Okay, thinkers do not look at problems in that way. So to focus on the solution, of course, is the best way to solve the problem. And, of course, that would lead or cause it to go away. And so with problems, issues, challenges, and other things, the thinking approach is most definitely the best way to live your life. And if we live our lives from an emotional perspective, that is very unhealthy when we live our life through the lens of, being more emotional than rational, being more emotional than a thinker. That is very unhealthy. It could be very stressful. It could cause anxiety. And some of our emotional responses to situations that arise, more time than we know, they never have good or positive outcomes. To stomp, yell, scream, act out, all in a response to a life experience or situation tends to never bring the result that would be favorable or warranted in a particular situation. As a matter of fact, think about this. When your response is filled with emotion or anger or sadness, then like that, those emotions, right, block your brain's ability to provide you with the answers to the issue that you need. Stomping, kicking, throwing things, yelling, screaming, or any display of real or high emotion like anger, that will never resolve any situation in a favorable way to you as an individual or in a group. Then not only are your problems not solved or addressed appropriately, but also, they do not go away. And so most of all, your health can be adversely impacted in that you cause yourself an enormous amount of stress, which can lead to heart attacks, strokes, and other life-threatening illnesses and bodily harm. Check this out. I've done some research on the whole, high emotional type of person, if you will. So check this out. Based on my research as it relates to stress caused by the emotion of anger and the bodily harm that can result from that, shows that something like chronic long-term anger has been linked to health issues such as high blood pressure, heart problems, headaches, skin disorders, and digestive problems as well. I mean, think of that. If you get mad too much, your food doesn't even digest as well as it should. Whereas, on the other hand, being more of a thinker has positive health outcomes such as lower rates of depression, lower levels of stress, distress, and pain. There is also a greater resistance in your body to illnesses. And then you have better psychological and physical and emotional well-being. So the question I have for you is, are you more of a thinker or are you more of a feeler? And as it stands right now, I would say that there are two types of people, or two ways that we as people can live our lives. We can live our lives from more of a mental perspective as a thinker, which is the way to go, or we can live our lives from a more emotional way as a feeler. And so, although you may have lived your life up to this point, I'm just saying, if this is you, from a more emotional or feeling perspective, you can change that simply by becoming more aware of your feelings to help you become more of a thinker and less of a feeler. And so we're going to talk about how you can make that change in just a minute. I'm just going to let a promo in, and we'll pick up the discussion on the other side of the break.
Relationship Readiness Life and Work Preparedness Services, the place you come to for coaching, consulting, and counseling in life, love, and work. We are a multi-purpose service organization that will coach you up, educate, guide, and motivate you to succeed. We provide management training and consulting services for all businesses in the areas of employee relations, unionized employees, progressive discipline, the annual review process, and emotional intelligence to develop effective leaders for your organization. And our relationship counseling services for individuals, couples, groups show you how to become relationship ready with improved self-esteem, resilience, and self-awareness. To learn more about our programs and services, please contact Robert T. Gardner Jr. by email at changeagentrtg@gmail.com or request a meeting for a free 1-hour consultation at relationshipreadiness.org. Thank you, and let's go back to Station BOB.
All right, welcome back. How you doing? I hope that this is serving a meaningful purpose in your life, because what this is really about is learning how to become more aware of our emotions, more aware of how to manage and control our feelings and our responses to situations and different life experiences. And so, as I said before I let the promo in, that I wanted to provide you with a few suggestions to help you transition. If this is you that I'm talking about, I'm talking to you if you have found or realized that you are more of a feeler than a thinker. Then you can fix that or change that and work towards becoming more of a thinker and less of a feeler. So you can do this if you want to take control of your overall health and emotional well-being. And so here are 5 things you can do to make that transition or to start the process to take the steps to move in that direction. I think the first step would be to practice how you feel. Practice how you feel, meaning, practice observing how you feel. What does that mean? It means in the moment, in real time, look at how and why you might be feeling a certain way about a particular situation that you are dealing with, and consider if your level of emotion for that scenario or that situation is appropriate for that issue. You know how they say, does the penalty match the crime? You know, you don't want to penalize somebody excessively if the crime or the violation does not, match that same level. So what I'm saying is, does your high level of emotion match the low level of the issue at hand? So start to look at those things the way you observe, when you start observing how you feel. The next thing I would say is pay attention to how you behave. Now, this is sort of the same thing, but it's more like just becoming more aware of your feelings in real time as it relates to a particular situation that you are in at that time. In other words, is the type of behavior you are showing right now warranted for this particular situation at hand? In other words, should you smash your television because your team is losing by 10 points in the game in the first quarter? That's not the time to smash your TV, okay? So pay attention to your behavior. Should you be yelling and screaming at a teacher in the classroom full of fourth grade students, about some issue regarding your child while your child's classmates are present and witnessing your behavior? So, you feel me? Pay attention to how you behave, which makes you more mindful to your surroundings and your behavior as to, what am I doing here? Should I be responding? Should I be acting this way? And then number 3, question your own opinions. Should you be feeling this way about something? And why should you be feeling, or why are you feeling this way about whatever you're feeling? Like, who benefits? Who does not benefit? And is it really worth it right now? So question how you feel, question your opinions about certain things and see how it fits or how it may not fit. I think most of all, take responsibility for your feelings. Own how you feel, and that will help you be more responsible for what you say, for what you do, and it will give you the opportunity to take a closer look at your feelings and perhaps may bring about a change of heart when you realize that you may be angry about something that can be resolved in a positive way if you just gave it more thought by taking the time to think about this issue as opposed to feel or be feeling about this issue. And then when you think about it, then you have a better chance of resolving the issue in a win-win fashion, which means everybody wins, everybody comes away happy, and that's the way we want to live. At least that's the way I'm hoping you should want to live. And then number 5, I would say, take the time to celebrate the positive. Because with every negative, there is a positive. And so, but you have to look for the positive in the negative because it's there, but you have to look for it. And so look for the positive, celebrate the positive, and also take the time to breathe. Come on, breathe with me. In, out, breathe. That may sound crazy, some guy breathing into the mic, but what I'm really trying to demonstrate for you is the importance of taking the time to breathe. Take a few deep breaths to give yourself time to put the issues, the problem, the situation, to give you time to put things in perspective. And perspective always helps to bring you under control. And so, as I said at the start of this podcast, there are two kinds of people, two kinds of ways we handle things. There are those who think and those who feel. Do the work to become more of a thinker and less of a feeler. as those who think have more fun, and some may even live longer, as opposed to those who feel life is not as enjoyable, and certainly less fun will be experienced in the life of a feeler. And so with that said, I'm going to leave it right there. That's right. That means I'm going to stop right here on this topic. I think I've, given you enough to understand what I'm getting at here, enough to go with, enough to help you if this is you I'm talking about. It's not if you're a feeler, you're not a bad person. That's not what I'm saying. It's just more healthier, just more reasonable. It's just wiser. It's just smarter to move more from becoming less of a feeler and more of a thinker. I've already indicated to you there are health problems related to being too emotional. It is stressful. It causes high blood pressure, strokes, depression. I mean, there's nothing good about that. Now, there are appropriate times to show emotion. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, anniversaries. You meet a new girlfriend, your team wins, the game of whatever sport you enjoy. But when things don't work out, or things don't go your way, or when problems arise, that is not the time to be a feeler. That is the time to be a thinker. And so, like I said, this time for real, I'm going to leave it right there. And I hope this discussion was of some benefit to you. And remember, you can get my podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. And as always, remember, life is good, even when it ain't. And love is an action, not a word. And it is not supposed to hurt. Until the next time we meet, stay safe. Make it a good day for yourself. And pray for my dad. Peace.